Lying in its northwestern region is India's largest state, Rajasthan, meaning Land of Kings, which was part of the Indus Valley, one of the most ancient and developed civilizations of the world. In the hilly Hadoti region of the Aravalli mountain range in this state is a tiny erstwhile Rajput kingdom called Bundi, named after Bunda, one of the chieftains of the tribal Meena community, which inhabited and controlled the region, and from whom it was wrested in the mid-14th century by Harchauhan Rajput Rao Deva. A panoramic view of the city will give the impression of it being covered with a blue carpet, as a vast number of its houses are all colored blue, and hence the city is also called as Blue City, akin to one of Rajasthan's famous city, Jaipur, called the Pink City. Unique to Bundi is its spectacular miniature paintings which adorn all its heritage monuments, the forts, palaces and stepwells. Among the earliest of the miniature paintings is the Chunad Ragamala painting of 1561. The theme of the paintings are centered around hunting, court scenes, festivals, processions, the nobility, stories of Lord Krishna and wildlife. Bundi is a world-acclaimed school of miniature paintings. The Gar Palace, also known as the Bundi Palace, is built along the inclined plane of a hill and is crowned by the Taragar Fort as the final retreat. Apart from its own thick, high and sheer walls, Gar Palace is surrounded by an outer fortification wall, which is again separated by a stretch of steeply rising ground. This makes the palace doubly fortified. The paved ramp between the outer wall and the palace at the Hathian Pole, the main gate of the palace, is flanked by slender but powerful towers and capped by octagonal domed chhatris. In front of the stilted and pointed arch of the gate, a pair of sculpted and painted elephants join trunks. The elephant is a widely used motif of the Rajput people, and is more so in Bundi, and these motifs gives a royal and mighty reception to the palace. The Hathian Pole leads to a turf chalk, on the opposite side of which is an arcade of 8 pointed arches which screens a stable for horses. Located directly above the stable is the Ratan Daulat Hall, built by Rao Ratan Singh during early 17th century. This is the Diwane Arm, chamber for the peasantry, to witness the public functions like coronations. A white marble seat stands in a balcony which projects over the chowk, facilitating the Maharaj to be seen and heard by people within the hall and outside it. Extensive additions to the palace was made by Maharaj Chatar Sal during the mid-17th century, the major one being the Chatar Mahal, which consisted of a high-level courtyard and living quarters surrounding it. The center of the courtyard contained a small square marble pool, while the rest of the surface was painted with brightly colored geometric designs. From an architectural perspective, the disparity between the short drop on one side of the court and the deep abyss on the other side is a feature of the complex arrangement of the palace, influenced by the site and well used for dramatic effect in combination with the vast openness of the southern side. On its west and east side, the court is flanked by columned halls, of which the western hall, the Hathi-shala, has temple columns whose cobble capitals contain 4 painted models of elephants to each column, which makes the ceiling a profusion of figures. The Bundi Zenana, or ladies' chambers, is distinguished by its refined jali screens, which incorporates figures of birds, flowers and elephants. The internal arrangement of the Bundi Palace is greatly determined by the site. The hanging garden is half a story higher than the Ratan Daulat Hall and half a story lower than the Chitrashala, and is so constructed due to the slope of the hill. The structures of the palace has been adapted according to the various levels and contours of the hill. It's not a block of building divided into separate apartments on separate levels, but a series of courtyards and living quarters at various levels, determined by nature and art, with the entire assembly being encased in an outer unifying wall, giving an overall impression of being a continuous, irregular, asymmetrical and imposing form as it climbs up the hill. Bundi has a large number of bauris or stepwells, the largest one being the Rani Ji Ki Bauri, built in 1699 by Rani Nathavati. The steps leading to the 46 meters deep stepwell is intricately carved with typical Rajput frescoes. The broad steps leading to the water and the sheer protecting walls are dramatic architectural composition enriched by their delicate and decorative carvings. The Rani Ji Ki Bauri, the Jaipuriya Kund and the Nagasagar are the finest of the stepwells of the region, comparable to the splendorous stepwells of Gujarat, which suggests that these stepwells could have been made by craftsmen from Gujarat. Bundi also has its share of pleasure palaces. The Rampuriya Ki Bagiche is a garden with a small house built in the year 1602 by Rao Bhoj Singh for one of his concubines. Sukh Mahal is another palace built on the dams of Jetsagar. The Shikar Burj is a shooting box with a high tower from where game can be spotted and shot easily. What finally adds more color and gaiety to this enduring land is its typical high tenor, flowing vocal music accompanied by the string instrument sarangi and the percussion nagara. This ancient state of Rajasthan is one of the central seats of renowned genre of Hindustani classical music.